Okay, you gotta promise me we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
Let's pursue this, because I think I know where this is going. Are we going to talk about how he's probably gay?
Different, of course.
Hey, Puck, are we assuming here? Or are we letting people self-identify? I put probably because I noticed some, I noticed some signs, but it's not my role to place labels on people. So you got to leave that benefit of the doubt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned?
His shirt.
Yes, his shirt.
His shirt.
Yes?
His shirt. No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned.
Uh-huh.
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Okay, so I feel like the implication here is like Kim has like hard called him as gay, and he's like just sitting back and watching as I just kind of work it out in my head slowly.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Oh, I really wanted to go through the other options there. Holy crap, that's a lot of bubbles. Quarterly business magazine. An empty ashtray. Dishes soaked up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. An old photo of the same apartment dated year '01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. And more importantly, 1 XP for all of those. Yo, what? Give. This is fine. We will wear this when it is appropriate to do so, and at no other time. You know what? My authority is basically tanked anyway, but I might need drama. Let's go with that for this conversation.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Hello?
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Villebrun. and I am an official with the coalition government.
Hey.
I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
I need to know where you got this beautiful silk robe from.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business.
Okay, I didn't get like a close look at it, so it may very well be culturally insensitive, though not more than the hat. It's blue though, so I thought it was pretty at a glance.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
Right. Can you tell me about your friend?
My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
Why?
That it's never going to happen.
Oh.
They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What are we in right now? 51? What's this EPIS? I assume it's basically the European Union, but for this.
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
Certain Occidental nations. If I'm reading that correctly, that means a bunch of white people countries.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, well, like, what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, like the letters. Like, it's what is the acronym?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You are. This is like when. This is like when you've got Ted Cruz on, like, surrounded by reporters coming out of the Senate chambers, and they ask him a question where the answer is obviously, like, inconvenient for him if he actually answers it honestly, so he just repeats the same canned response over and over.
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, I don't. Oh, there's so many things about that I dislike. So it's going to be like this place then?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
On paper. Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Didn't you say candidate members don't become real members?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry. Who?
Oh, this is going to be a deeply frustrating line of questioning. Like, like, we are going to get nothing out of it, and it's going to take us an hour. Yeah, your friend, smoker on the balcony. We were talking about him.
But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Do you know his real name? Can you tell me his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
He's not going to answer a single question. How did you become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
I can honestly say I've not made any friends like that.
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
It's dark outside.
Listen,
A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
no, listen. The Insulindian Bay.
I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
I hate this. Let's try something else.
I'm all ears, officer.
What are you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
Uh-huh.
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment right now?
Well, I'm renovating it.
That's
an
close to a
interesting
real
project.
answer.
The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
What international community is it that we're talking about?
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
So you're like a bureaucrat then?
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Please tell me about the price stability.
It is the most important thing.
That does not tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
I heard today that the Fed's not raising interest rates again. So that's a thing.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Hi. Hello. So, Jesse's having some migraine trouble. It's bad. It's usually bad when she has it. There isn't really anything that I can do, but I still want to be, like, available if she needs, like, some water or something, because it does pretty much put her out of commission. So what I'm going to do is we're going to finish up this conversation and get to the end of, like, this day, and then we will, I'll end the stream a little bit early so I can go, take care. I don't like to be in here with headphones on, unavailable if she needs something. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll finish this out real quick and then we'll end a bit early. Right. Institute of Price Stability, inflation below 2%. Below 2% of what?
But not too far below. No. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're literally not answering any of my questions.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
You know what? Sure.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
Oh no, that's too bad. I've heard about this, but tell me more about the moral intern. I'm sure that I will get information that is valuable and specific.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
So what I'm hearing is that we're moral intern bitches?
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Are you a moralist? You just said you were a moralist.
But of course.
Why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Lieutenant, are you a moralist? Actually, you know what? Martinez doesn't seem normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it normal and stable?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Is moralism just like not subscribing to any actual any consistent worldview and just going wherever the winds take me on that particular day? Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
I feel like moralism is not so much centrism as it is absolute fealty to the status quo.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
It didn't work because it was violently crushed.
Oh, yes. The big bad coalition crushed the revolution. Tell me, if the revolution was succeeding, would it have been crushed so easily?
Like, that doesn't... putting aside whether or not the revolution was actually succeeding in its goals, which, to be fair, it doesn't actually look like it was. Hi, Sari. That's a fun number. That's a large number. But, like, it could have been succeeding in its economic goals, but not necessarily its military goals. More importantly, was the revolution just getting started and then was crushed before it, like, was able to build any structure? Because then, yes, it would have been crushed very easily if it was going against the status quo, and the status quo was better organized because it had been around for hundreds of years.
Are we really so bad for wanting compromise, peace, and prosperity on reasonable, achievable terms? Ask yourself that. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sir Leclerc.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern,
Sur-la-Clé.
urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Now that is colonial. What makes us a darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur Clay's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Wow. Taste hasn't really gotten much, Taste hasn't really got much to say. We get lots of sight, hearing, and smell. Taste popping in to throw some shade on meatballs and mashed potatoes. Those are some white foods. That being said, I'll eat both, but, at the same time.
Whatever you wish, officer.
All right, let's talk about the thing we're supposed to talk about. I expect to get no information out of you. So you witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Is that because you did it? All right, start from the beginning.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one.
That's actually interesting. Almost as if it was like a sort of coordinated, like, see no evil type of thing.
That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
8 sounds right.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them, like, really big?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human. as far as I could tell.
All right, what happened next?
I went back inside.
Cool, that wasn't as helpful as I was expecting. Well, let me rephrase. That wasn't as helpful as I was hoping. That was exactly as helpful as I was expecting.
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
Thanks, Half-Light. That is a normal thing for a human person to do.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men, women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
That does not match with my understanding.
But we are fairly certain
Right.
the lady driver was present.
Are you sure at least one of them wasn't a woman?
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
Ethnicity?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Iroquois among them.
I don't
And I
even
am
know
quite
what that
certain
means.
that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
Oh, that's useful. All right, what next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
Yeah, I can see how that would be weird.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why did you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
You didn't check your watch.
My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take.
You didn't actually witness the hanging yourself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
What? I... Those are all of my questions. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
Well, that's all I needed.
A moment, officer.
Oh?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Why not?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
All right, I think we're done here.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
Oh god, the like, it's important to have the flashlight so I can notice things, but it is so annoying to have in my hand when I don't need it. If nothing else, like, it wasn't a lot of useful information, but it did help us to corroborate a lot of what we'd already learned. Which is good. Those are good things. Like, having separate eyewitness accounts that at least mostly match up with each other. That's a plus.
You see, a heavy steel.
That's true. Like, we might have actually gotten some decent information if we hadn't already gotten a lot of that information from other places. So it's not that it's not that what he said was useless. It's more so that it just wasn't anything new comparative to what we'd learned independently. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not sleeping here. Wait.
It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Night, Kim. I could have told you to just stay at the Whirling and Rags before I came all the way out here, but that would have been too easy.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Enter the shack.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Was shaving a good decision?
The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, such as it is. A regular, clean-shaven police officer.
All right. I'll save here, but let's go ahead and get our weird dreams first.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
This sounds like a significantly better place than the place that actually costs money. Hi, Ark, you're just in time. I'm ending early today.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
It's not your fault. I'm finishing early. Jesse just got hit with some pretty extreme migraine symptoms, so I'm gonna cut bait a little early tonight and make sure that I'm available if she needs something. The thing with her migraines, there's not really much I can actually do actively. She mostly just needs like rest. But considering how badly it puts her down and out of commission, like bringing her water, you know, helping her walk around if she needs to get from place to place, just little stuff like that. I just want to make sure that I'm here.
Recorded in you forever on Faraday.
Am I dreaming?
No, you're spinning tapes at the discotheque. The great unceasing disco of the mind. The flash, the bang, the endless learning experience.
Spinning in eternity.
On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, rising, above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time, the smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
I did have a good day, and me too. Generally, neither of these voices are supposed to make you feel comfortable. And they do not. What are we what is it? What are we talking about?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now.
Dio, stop.
You can never forget this shit.
I don't want to. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. It's stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless keepsakes.
Hey, I like my meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names
Stop.
of the world.
Stop, Dio.
An address book you are. The map of a city.
I am an agent of the world.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the working class.
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzle.
Dio?
Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't
Stop.
put smoke back in her mouth.
I'm building communism for all. This time we won't fail.
There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world changing around him.
The voiceover is different than the text, and they have very different they have very, very, very different connotations. Also, of course the world is changing me. Like, that's how that works.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Why not?
'Cause only love can break your heart.
This is a nice pillow.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Oh, I don't like that.
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go.
For the city.
Do it for the wind.
For the wind? Okay. Let's go. Healed up.
Rise and shine, comrade. It's time to get to work.
What's going on?
Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built.
That's
It's
honestly
too
more than
great
I
a
thought.
task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized.
All right, let's organize.
Uh-oh. Organization hasn't exactly been your strong suit, historically speaking.
Yeah, the shack is nice and cozy as is.
Your level of personal upkeep is irrelevant. All that matters is your commitment to building the World Republic. You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out how much communism they've built. Then, together, maybe you'll be able to build as much as 0.0002% of communism.
That's progress.
But it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise underground.
Will they help me fire up Mazov's socialist sausage grinder?
Just between us, you may want to lay off this grind up the bourgeoisie stuff. It's a bit off-putting, even to fellow communists.
Eat the rich. I'm part of the coalition authorities. Have I been persecuting communists this whole time?
Possibly. If you have been, It's only because you're a double agent acting in furtherance of your long-term objectives.
I can get behind that.
Regardless, what's past is past. You need to look forward to the work of building communism for all.
How am I supposed to find them if they're hiding?
Let your nose guide you, detective.
You mean like my huge and highly functioning brain that's not addled by substances and withdrawal right now at all?
No, we meant your nose, as in that swollen muck detector in the center of your face. It just happens to be perfectly calibrated for sensing communists.
I don't think that's true.
We really have no idea what they're talking about. There's no linkage between ideology and olfaction.
Okay. Oh, when the stats talk to each other and refute each other, those are some of the best moments. Like rhetoric or logic or volition or something is just going off, and then something else is like, I don't know what the fuck Half-Light is talking about right now. That ain't me. What does communism smell like?
Failure.
God. All right. Let's take that at face value. What does failure smell like?
It's a smell you know all too well. Simultaneously repulsive and yet darkly appealing. Musty with a sharp tang, but also a remnant of
Stay
lost
quiet.
sweetness. Like a rotting mango that's been swaddled in a coat from your grandfather's attic.
That's a really good metaphor. Damn.
What you're smelling is your own body odor, of course. Nothing a shower and change of clothes couldn't fix.
I don't know. I like my clothes.
People sometimes complain there are no real communists left in Martinez. But you can smell their presence. They're out there, waiting for you to join them.
This sounds unfathomably stupid. I want no part of it. Let's do it.
First, you'll have to locate the remaining communists in Martinez. When you get near to someone with revolutionary potential, your nose will give you the signal to establish contact. Again, no, it won't. Any olfactory response you perceive will be strictly psychosomatic.
What'll I do then?
You'll discuss the monumental world historical task that lies before you. You'll engage in rigorous and spirited debates about Mazovian theory and practice. But mostly, you'll probably complain about other communists.
That sounds counterproductive.
Not at all. Complaining about other communists is one of the most important parts of being a communist.
Is that like when all the Bernie bros went after Elizabeth Warren for like no good reason? All right, let's do it.
Here we go. Wake, brave worker. 'Tis no time for bed. Fight till there's no slaves below, and no masters o'erhead.
Well. Wait, I thought we... Yeah, you know what? Next time.